Amber. Today we're going to be doing yoga for runners. This workout is specific to after your run for stretching and lengthening the muscles we use during running. So if you'd like, you can use your mat, you can have a towel. I use the yoga strap. You can use a towel tie or a jump rope, anything that you can wrap around your foot. You might want to have a pillow or blanket or cushion for your knees, anything will work. And then at the end, I will show you some foam rolling techniques for your quadriceps and your calves to help you out there. So we're just going to meet here in the center of our mat, and hopefully you've cooled down and your heart rate has lowered. We're going to close the eyes, take a couple of good deep breaths, and just center our thoughts to the present, into the space that we're in. So closing the eyes, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, audible sigh. Your run is done, your workout's done. Inhale, exhale, audible sigh. Sealing the lips, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. With the eyes closed, bringing our thoughts to our body, inside, to our breath. Noticing the pace of our breath, where we're breathing into our chest or our stomach, the depth. Just getting really acquainted with your breath and how it feels right now. Don't make any changes, and no judgments about your breath or your body or your mental state. And as we breathe in, we fill our body with oxygen. As we exhale, we take the opportunity to release tension in our muscles. And as we run, we build up tension in our muscles to propel us forward. We're going to release that tension, stretch it out, elongate the muscles. Before we move on, just quickly noticing how you're feeling physically, how maybe you're feeling after your run today. Taking special care with any parts of your body, your shoulders, your hips, your knees, your ankles. And then noticing how you feel mentally or emotionally right now. No judgment, just information. Inhaling and exhaling. On our next inhale, opening the eyes, reaching the arms up, overhead, clasping the palms together, bringing down over the heart as you exhale, tucking the chin in, allowing the hands to release down to the floor. Good, bringing our chin parallel to the floor, inhale, lifting. We're going to exhale and twist to the right side, just looking over the shoulder gently. And inhale to the center. And exhale, twisting, hand on the outside of the knee, turning the head. If you hear any snap, crackles, or pops, no problem. Hands to the floor. We're going to rock forward onto our hands and knees. We're going to give a little love to our back. I'll turn to the side so you can see our cat and cow. We're rolling under. Relaxing the top of the feet into the floor, pressing into our hands, letting our head dangle. Pulling your belly button to the spine. Inhale, lowering the stomach, lifting the chest, eyes gazing upward. Inhale. Exhale, rounding under. Keeping the feet relaxed, the lower back, the stomach. And inhale, lowering the hips. And exhale, rounding back into child's pose. Feel free to take your knees wide. Also, if your knees don't feel good compressed this much, you can use your cushion to place behind your legs. Give you a little space. Or you can do extended puppy pose and just not compress your knees at all. And walking the hands underneath our shoulders, up onto all fours here. We're going to press into our knees. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, releasing the arms down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, hands down. Good. If you'd like to grab your mat or a blanket or towel to put under your knees, now is a good time to do it. We're going to tuck our toes under here. Good. A gentle squeeze of the glutes. Hands in our pockets, lifting the chest. Trying to bring the elbows together behind our back. Chin tucks in. It's a little back bend here. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, rounding back into our child's pose. Inhale, lifting up, pressing into the legs, lifting your chest up. Tucking the toes under, hands to the back pockets. Press the glutes down, lift the chest. Chin reaches. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, rounding under. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, tucking the toes under, hands go to the lower back. If you'd like, you can take your hand on your heels. If you need a little extra stretch here, gently squeezing the shoulder blades together. And you can also open your throat and your neck if you want to take it back. And releasing one arm at a time, inhaling up. And exhaling, hands to the side. We'll take our front leg and we're going to bring it forward. Remember, if you need your pad, you can go ahead and grab it. A great place for it is under your knee if you're being gentle with your knees here. I want you to move your body weight so your hips are right over your knees. Roll the hips under, pull the belly button in, and as we're rolled under, we're just going to sink our hips forward, feeling a stretch in our hip flexor. Go ahead and lift that arm. A little extra stretch there, shoulders down and relaxed. And from here, we're going to take our lifted arm and we're going to reach over towards our knee that's in front. So you're reaching towards me. Feeling a little stretch in your TFL, tensor fasciolate. And back to the center. Taking our hands to the floor. Lifting the front toe, pulling it towards your shin. Walking our hands forward. So if it doesn't bother your knee and you want to get rid of the cushion, you can. It's up to you. This is half splits. Chest is lifted, hips are squared forward, feeling a stretch in your calf and your hamstring. Placing your left hand on the floor beside your foot. You're going to inhale, lifting the arm, rotating. If you're feeling wobbly, you can tuck your back toe under. If you're not, go ahead and place the top of your foot on the floor. And let the arm come down and around. Walking our hands forward into our lizard pose. So walk your foot out to the side of your mat with our hands placed on the inside of our leg. You can tuck your back toe under and straighten your leg just for a moment, pulling your leg out of your hip socket and lower it back down. This is a great place if you needed to use your cushion to lift you up, or if you needed to use your block to lift you up. Also, lizard pose can be done like this. It's up to you. With your hands on the floor. You can walk your foot out a little farther, give yourself some space. And walking the hands backward, lifting the front toe, half splits again. Chest is lifted, back is flat. So we're not trying to get our head to our knee here. We're trying to get a good stretch for our hamstring. Placing the hand on the floor, inhale, lifting. You're going to feel that in the outside upper hip. Letting the arm drop, walking it forward again, walking that leg out. Different variations depending on your flexibility. So if this is your flexibility, this is a great stretch for your hip flexor. Maybe you're here. Maybe you're somewhere in between. You want to go a little lower. You can grab your mat or your cushion. Take your elbows to it. You can walk your foot out. You can even lift the inside of your foot off the floor. Breathing into the tight spot. Connecting our body and our breath together. Noticing if you're having tension in your face or your jaw or your shoulders or your hands. We're stretching, we're releasing tension. So when you exhale, just search your body, see where you need to release the tension. Hands to the floor here. Pushing it back one more time for a hamstring stretch. Hips are squared to the floor. Hands on either side of the foot. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, sinking with a flat back. Probably not going to go too far, and that's okay. We want quality of stretch. Hand on the inside, opening the arm. So if that's difficult for you, you can always put your block, your pillow, a book underneath your hand and lift you up a little bit. And let the arm release down. Good. Walking that foot behind us into child's pose. Relaxing, inhaling, exhaling, smiling inwardly for the work we've accomplished with our run. Got outside, did something to better ourselves physically and mentally. And from here, sweep the hands behind the back. Inhale, lifting up onto the knees. Exhale, lowering the hands down, taking the back leg forward. Roll the hips under, our hips are right over our knees. Remember, if your knee is tender, use that cushion. You can use a gardening mat, you can use a rolled up yoga mat, you can use a pillow, whatever works for you. Hips are rolled under. And as we make our stomach tight and our glutes engaged to protect our lower back, we're going to sink the hips forward. Lifting the arm, taking some deep breaths, noticing if we're holding tension in our shoulders, our face. Bringing our awareness to our breath so our mind doesn't time travel to the future or to the past. Taking our uplifted arm and moving it over to the side of our body like a crescent moon. Feeling a stretch in your TFL. The muscle does a lot of work when we run and walk. And it's a small muscle. It can contribute to IT band or knee pain if it's too tight. Stomach is engaged gently. And bringing it back to the center. Go ahead and place the hands on the floor, walk it back, lifting the front toe into our half splits. Working on the hamstring of the other leg. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, let your body sink. Hips are squared to the floor. Placing the palm of our hand next to our foot. Inhale, reach forward and twist. So you're engaging your leg at your heel on your front leg. Push down. You're engaging your back hip to keep it even and level. Gently pressing into the floor to get our neck out of our head. And letting the arms sweep behind us, walking forward, moving into our lizard pose. Walk our leg out, hands are in the center. Tuck the back toe under, so your lizard pose may feel better here, and that's okay. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you can drop the knee. Feel free to walk your foot out as wide as your mat, or as wide as feels good for you. And releasing the neck, a little shake, your jaw, breathing in and out. Walking the hands backward, lifting that front toe towards your shin, lift the chest. When you lift your chest, your tailbone kind of turns up towards the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, sinking. So if you have a block, because that's just a little bit too intense, you can use a block. You can use canned goods, a book to lift yourself up. Lots of times runners are really strong, and when you're strong, sometimes you're not too flexible. We have to build that flexibility. And let's walk our hands forward, letting your foot move out towards the end of your mat, side of your mat to give you some space. So remember, you can use if you have a block or book or cushion, and if you want to come down a little deeper into the pose, go ahead. Relaxing the hands and the face, breathing into it. If you need to turn the foot up, you can, at the bottom of the foot. And walking our hands back underneath us. Walk it back, lift those toes one last time. Inhale. Exhale, sinking down. Placing the hand on the inside near your foot. Coming forward, rounding, making a circle, lifting it up. Breathing into our neck, into our hips. And releasing the arm behind us, walking it forward, tuck the back toe under. We're going to move into our pigeon pose. We're going to bring the leg in front of us. Hands on either side of our knee. So your heel can be tucked in, whatever's comfortable for you. If you're really flexible in your glutes, you might want to push your leg out. Hips are square to the floor. If you find that that's hard for you, take your mat, take your pillow, put it under that hip. Keep your hips squared. Inhaling, exhaling, sinking down to whatever's comfortable for you. Maybe all the way to the floor. If this hurts your knee at all, but you still want to get a stretch in the glute, you can do a figure 4 stretch on your back. Looks like this. So you're either in figure 4 or you're in your pigeon stretch, whichever one. If you're in pigeon, we're going to come up into our hands. Good. Press into those hands, tuck the back toe under, lifting. Send that leg back. You can go for downward facing dog. If you're in your figure 4, go ahead and switch sides and we'll do a downward dog afterwards. And coming forward, take that leg across. Hips are centered, level. So we don't want our hip lifted up like this. We don't want to be sunk down like that. Use your block, your pillow, your book. If you need to, you can put it underneath your glute. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, sinking. Softening your face, your arms, your tongue. This is bothersome to your knee. You can do that same figure 4 stretch on your back. Stretches the same muscle, your glutes. Breathing. So if any of these exercises, stretches feel really good for you, you can pause the video and hold them as long as you like. And if you're in your pigeon pose, we're going to walk our hands underneath our shoulders, bringing ourselves back up, lifting the chest. And exhale, let our body weight slide over. We're going to do two more things. We're going to stretch our quadricep and we'll do a downward dog for our calves. So for your quadricep, we've got 2 ways that we can do it. If you want to get your pad on the floor, your pillow, we can do it this way, where you lift back, grab the foot, pull your ankle or your heel. I prefer if you could grab the shin. Hips they're square to the front of our mat. The other way that you can do this, if that doesn't feel good on your knee, and maybe you just can't reach your ankle, take your strap, put it on your foot, and reach behind you like this for a quadricep stretch. So you have 2 options. Which one works for you? They're both good stretches. Couple more breaths, inhaling, exhaling, relaxing. Inhale, exhale, relax. Good. If you're using the strap, go ahead and release it and put it on the other side. Switch over. If you are on your knees, let's go to that one. If you're on your knees, you're just going to switch knees, reaching back, grabbing the shin. You can even reach it with both hands if you'd like. Just pulling that heel. When you do this, we want to avoid having a severe arch in your back. So kind of round the hips under and get a better stretch for your quad anyway. In both exercises, be mindful of your lower back. Is it arched, your hip or your rib cage lifted really high? If they are, press them in. So we've got this stretch here. Or you're using your strap. Show you what it looks like from this angle. Your leg is straight down your body. Strap is behind you, over your shoulder, pulling your heel to your glute. At the same time, you've got your hips rolled under, so your lower back is safe. Breathing into the front of your thigh, your quadricep, big muscle. It does lots of work when we run. And release. So depending on which stretch you were doing this week, and all fours, so we can do our downward facing dog to stretch our calves, our hamstrings, our lats. Hands or dinner plates underneath your shoulders. Toes are tucked under. Just going to lift our knees off the floor just a little bit, just to see what it feels like to engage the shoulders. So we don't want to be sunken down into our shoulders, engage through them, pulling the chin in. We're going to take our tailbone, we're going to move it to the ceiling where the wall and the ceiling meet. Pressing back into those hands. Your knees may need to bend, and that's okay. Belly button is pulled in and we're gazing at our stomach. And slowly start to walk your heels to the floor. This is called walking the dog. You can hold both down. You can take your toes at an angle. It gets different parts of your calves. So if you're running on uneven ground, maybe a field or something, more than just one area of your calf needs to be stretched. So you need to stretch with your toes in and with your toes out. Otherwise, you'll end up with shin splints. And coming down onto our knees, back into our child's pose, resting for a moment, taking a deep breath, and exhale. And inhale, hands sliding underneath the shoulders, pressing ourselves up, meeting me in the middle of your mat. Legs crossed or feet together. Let's do feet together. One more stretch for our groin. Knees down, gentle engagement of your glutes to press your knees away from you. Also the action of the long arm here stretches our neck. Going to bind on our foot or our feet. Chin tucks in. And release. And thank you so much for coming to your mat today to stretch after your run. This is something that you can do after every run, or you can pick your favorites, the ones that you need the most. So thank you for your time. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, palms together, hands over the heart. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.